Fresno, California, a name that echoes across the San Joaquin Valley. At first glance, it is a thriving inland city, the county seat of Fresno County, and the beating heart of Central California. But hidden within its streets and fields lies a story deeper than numbers and borders. The city spans over 115 square miles, home to more than 500,000 people as of the 2020 census. It ranks as California's fifth most populous city, yet unlike the coastal giants of Los Angeles or San Francisco, Fresno's rise was carved in the soil of the Central Valley, a place where survival meant bending nature to human will. The origins of Fresno trace back to 1872, when the Central Pacific Railroad sought a station in the valley. But the land had a name long before: Fresno, the Spanish word for ash tree, after the groves that once lined the San Joaquin River. By 1885, the settlement became a city, but its growth was no accident. It was destiny. Agriculture became its lifeblood. Vast fields of grapes, cotton, and fruit turned Fresno into an agricultural empire, feeding not just California but the nation. Its central location, 220 miles north of Los Angeles, 170 miles south of Sacramento, and 185 miles from San Francisco, made it a crossroads of movement, trade, and culture. Just beyond its edges lie wonders of the natural world: Yosemite, Kings Canyon, and Sequoia National Parks. These towering giants watch over Fresno like silent guardians of its past. And yet, beneath the fertile soil and modern sprawl, Fresno's history carries shadows. The city is the third largest majority Hispanic city in the United States, its identity shaped by migration, labor, and the struggles of those who built it. Its story is not one of glamour but of resilience, of a city that grew from a railway stop into a powerful force in the heart of California. This is Fresno's story, one of hidden roots, restless growth, and a history as mysterious as the valley fog that often cloaks its mornings. Long before the rise of railroads and agriculture, the San Joaquin Valley was home to the Yokuts and Miwok peoples. They thrived in the heart of California, trading plant and animal goods with tribes across the region, even reaching the coastal Chumash. For centuries, this fertile valley was their domain, until outsiders arrived. In 1772, Spanish explorer Pedro Fages became the first European to step into the valley. His arrival marked the beginning of a transformation that would forever alter the land and its people. By 1856, after the frenzy of the California Gold Rush, Fresno County was officially formed, named after the ash trees, the fresnos, that grew along the San Joaquin River. But nature itself soon reminded settlers who held the real power here. On December 24, 1867, the San Joaquin River burst its banks, flooding the town of Millerton. Houses vanished, lives were uprooted, and the town was never the same. That same winter, the Kings River destroyed Scottsburg, forcing its survivors to rebuild on higher ground as Centerville. That same year, Anthony Easterby purchased a swath of land that would become the Sunnyside District. But wheat would not grow without water. In 1870, he turned to Moses Church, a man who would change Fresno's destiny. With canals and ditches, Church carved water into the valley's soil, creating the Fresno Canal and Irrigation Company, a system that would give birth to Fresno's agricultural empire. Then came 1872. The Central Pacific Railroad laid its tracks and established a station near Easterby's farm. What began as a simple store by the tracks became a settlement, Fresno Station. Millerton's people, tired of floods and drawn by the promise of the railroad, abandoned their riverfront town and moved here. By 1885, Fresno was incorporated, no longer a mere station, but a city destined to shape California's heartland. The march of progress did not stop. In 1903, the failing San Joaquin Power Company transformed into the San Joaquin Light and Power Corporation, fueling the city's growth. The Fresno City Water Company and the Fresno City Railway became part of this new force. By 1931, the Fresno Traction Company commanded 47 streetcars stretching across nearly 50 miles of track. The city that began as a station in the dust had become a hub of movement, power, and possibility. But Fresno's history is more than just growth and progress. It is a tale of floods and resilience, of indigenous roots and new beginnings, of railroads and water carved into the earth. Fresno's past is not only written in records, it lingers in the soil, in the forgotten towns swallowed by rivers, and in the echoes of the ash trees that once lined the valley. 2 years after the railroad station was built, the fate of Fresno was sealed. County residents voted to move the county seat from flood-ravaged Millerton to the rising community by the tracks. Millerton itself was not forgotten, but it was drowned. In 1944, the Friant Dam submerged the old county seat beneath the waters of Millerton Lake. Even today, during seasons of extreme drought, the ghostly ruins of Millerton re-emerge, a haunting reminder of a vanished town. Like many American frontier cities, Fresno faced another destructive force: fire. With buildings of wood and little protection against the flames, the city saw disaster. In 1882, an inferno consumed an entire block. Another blaze struck just 1 year later in 1883, carving scars into the young city's memory. And yet, Fresno grew not only through tragedy but through innovation. In 1919, the city saw the founding of Temple Beth Israel, its first synagogue, a symbol of the diverse communities shaping its future. Education, too, became one of Fresno's defining legacies. In 1910, Fresno High School was the first in California to use the Upward Extension Act, offering college-level classes to students unwilling to leave their hometown. From this experiment rose Fresno City College, the oldest community college in California, and one of the oldest in the entire United States. In time, Fresno State Teachers College evolved into California State University, Fresno, a cornerstone of the city's identity. By 1960, Fresno had entered the ranks of America's 100 most populous cities, with 134,000 residents. Just 3 decades later, its population had nearly tripled, surging past 350,000. By the dawn of the new millennium, Fresno stood as the 37th largest city in the nation. Even in its growth, Fresno made history in unexpected ways. In 1937, it became home to the first modern sanitary landfill in the United States, pioneering trenching, compacting, and daily soil covering. Though it closed in 1987, the site is now both a National Historic Landmark and a Superfund site, a reminder of the double-edged nature of progress. Before the Second World War, Fresno's neighborhoods reflected a mosaic of immigrant life: Little Armenia, Germantown, Little Italy, and Chinatown. In 1940, Fresno was reported as 94% white, with small but growing Black and Asian communities. Its Chinatown was largely Japanese, but its story turned dark in 1942. In the shadow of war, Japanese Americans in Fresno were uprooted and sent to internment camps. Pinedale, now a part of North Fresno, became one such assembly center, while the Fresno Fairgrounds served as another. Families were forced to leave behind homes, businesses, and lives. Their absence still lingers in Fresno's history. Fresno's past is one of resilience and reinvention. It is a city built on floods, fires, farms, and railroads. A place shaped by communities both celebrated and silenced. A city that grew from a fragile outpost into one of California's great inland powers, while carrying with it stories that remain hidden beneath the surface. After World War II, Fresno began to transform. The endless orchards and row crops that once defined the valley slowly gave way to urban sprawl. Nowhere was this change more visible than along the Blackstone Avenue corridor, where farmland gave way to concrete, lights, and the hum of automobiles. Yet Fresno's isolation also gave it a surprising role in financial history. In September 1958, Bank of America quietly launched an experiment in the city, Bank AmeriCard. Chosen for its remoteness, Fresno was meant to be a testing ground, far from the glare of major coastal cities. If it failed, the damage would be contained. But it did not fail. Despite early struggles, Bank AmeriCard became the first true credit card, accepted by a wide range of merchants and allowing balances to revolve. By 1976, it had evolved into Visa Incorporated, a global giant born in the heart of Fresno. The 1960s brought another wave of change and loss. In the name of progress and the automobile, Fresno saw the destruction of many historic buildings, including the old Fresno County Courthouse and the original Edison High School. Streets widened, parking lots expanded, and pieces of the city's past disappeared under asphalt. But even as parts of its history were erased, Fresno gave birth to new cultural movements. In the 1970s, a distinctive dance style emerged from its streets: popping. A dance that would spread far beyond the city, shaping hip-hop and global performance culture, all rooted in Fresno's rhythm. Not all chapters were triumphant. In 1995, the FBI's Operation Rezone uncovered a network of corruption. Developers purchased farmland, bribed council members to rezone it, and reaped enormous profits building cheap housing. 16 people, including politicians from Fresno and nearby Clovis, were convicted. The scandal left scars on the city's political landscape. By the early 2000s, Fresno sought to redefine itself once again. Chukchansi Park rose in 2002, and the Save Mart Center followed in 2003, symbols of a city reaching for cultural and economic prominence. but shadows still lingered. In 2017, Fresno made headlines for a tragic mass shooting that claimed 4 lives, a reminder that even in the modern era, the city's story carries both triumph and tragedy. Fresno's history is one of paradoxes: floods and railroads, innovation and corruption, destruction and reinvention. From the Yokuts and Miwok who first called this land home, to the railroads that birthed a city, to the global credit card industry and the rhythms of street dance, Fresno is a city where the ordinary hides the extraordinary. This is Fresno, California, where history is written not just in monuments, but in fire, water, soil, and memory. If you've enjoyed uncovering the mysterious history of Fresno, California, don't stop here. History Love is your go-to channel for exploring the hidden stories of the past, from forgotten towns to world-changing innovations born in unlikely places. Subscribe now, share this video with fellow history lovers, and join us on the journey through time.